are these guys? 11th in the league in batting average, but they're second in runs and first in home runs. Raul Ibanez hitting .463 against the Nats this year. 8 of his 30 homers against Washington pitching and 20 of his 82 runs batted in. Now Garrett Mock's given up 8 home runs in 10 starts, so he doesn't give up the long ball a whole lot, knock on wood, as he gets ready for a power-laden Phillies lineup.
Well, PNC Bank scouting report, he needs to hit his spots on every pitch, whether it is getting it out of the zone or getting it down. Don't take a pitch off. As John Lannon, in the third time through, it was just 3 pitches and all 3 of them went over the fence. And then after midnight, we'll look back at this as a great start for Garrett Mock.
Nationals defensively, a different look in center field. Justin Maxwell gets the start. He'll be leading off when we set the lineup for you. Alberto Gonzalez at second. Josh Bard, after Will Nieves started 3 games in a row, behind the plate. Jimmy Rollins 0 for 4 with a strikeout last night, hitting .242. Garrett Mock's first pitch, a fastball in there.
And the thing I liked about John Lannon yesterday, and it was just that one bad inning, he pressed the issue. He threw mainly fastballs yesterday. He really set up the secondary pitches.
And a bouncer to the right side. 3-hopper Gonzalez, 1 out.
There you go. 2 fastballs, 1 out.
Nationals have lost 8 in a row to the Phillies this year. They have 4 players at 30 or better. Utley got there last night. Ibanez is there, Worth 32, and Howard 38. And as we mentioned, Christian Guzman likes Phillies pitching, whether it's here or a couple of hours north. Here's Shane Victorino. And Mock throws him a strike.
I was told, Bob, no other team has more than 2 players with 30-plus home runs or more. So that's how they have so many runs. Some guys get on via the hit, and then the other gentlemen, 3, 4, 5 guys, they like to try to get everybody in with one swing of it.
You know, the Phillies' last 14 homers have been solos. And Victorino will check one to the wall in right field. It's at least a double. He's going to think 3 until Sam Perlazo stops him, and he takes the 1-out 2-bagger. Shane Victorino is now hitting over .340 against the Nationals this year.
I thought you were going to say 3,000.
It only seems that way.
Well, we talked about hitting your spots. That changeup is up in the zone. Victorino jumps all over it and pulls up. But he was looking like he was going for 3. And as Bob said, you pick up the third base coach. He stops you at second.
Well, he has 11 triples. And that leads the league with his former teammate, Michael Bourne of Houston. There's a good baseball man, Sam Perlazo, the pride of George Washington University.
Has managed, was one of my former coaches on that World Championship team in Cincinnati. Excellent coach. Big on fundamentals. Works the defense too when they're doing their defensive drills.
He'll manage again. Chase Utley at .295 with an on-base percentage of .414. That's 4th best in the league.
Got the big shift on. We have 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. Nice block.
Off speed, 2-0.
There you see it. 1, 2, 3.
11-year veteran Ron Kulpa has the plate tonight. Crew Chief Dale Scott at first, Mike Estabrook second base, and Jerry Meals at third. Utley 85 RBIs after homering here. He had a pretty good rip.
Nice running fastball.
He's also scored the same number of runs, 96, as Ryan Zimmerman, and he got Tyler Clippard on an inside corner fastball.
You see how a guy like Chase Utley just drops the head of the bat. He is as short as anyone in the major leagues at getting from the back of his stance to the front with that bat. Doesn't do too much.
Well, if he hits a ground ball to shortstop, it's an easy RBI single here. He'll go to center, And Maxwell is right there to grab it for the second out. Now it's the youngster Garrett Mock and the still rather young veteran Ryan Howard. Last night Howard went 0 for 4. Flight out to right and then hit 3 ground balls against the shift. He's hitting .330 his last 25 games, but you know it's really impressive? 34 RBIs in 25 games.
They're almost a throwback as far as players. They know their roles. The big power guys, they just try to hit home runs and get RBIs. The little base stealing guys and the table setters, they do their little thing. They don't try to do too much. They're also one of the best defensive teams in baseball too. So they don't give you extra outs, and they will force you to play very good defense when you're in the field. And that's one of the trademarks of a very good team. That's why they're the reigning world champions.
Phillies made 2 errors here last night on a ball fouled by Howard. Pirates made 1 last night, none today, so the teams have the identical total. 62 errors.
Since 2006, your home run leaders. The 2 big first basemen in this series.
By the way, guess who hit 2 today in Milwaukee?
Your kid that you want to adopt, Albert Pujols, hit 2.
Well,
off his former mate too, Jeff Suppan.
I don't think he's adoptable, but he's hit 47 home runs now.
Well, and Matt Holliday makes you actually throw a couple more pitches per game to that guy, and he doesn't miss them.
I think I heard today with Matt Holliday, they're 32 and 11. Right. Off speed, it gets away.
Watch home.
Victorino over to third base. So Mock got ahead. He's nibbling now.
Well, they need to open up the bank vault to keep Matt Holliday, because I think that team in the Bronx will probably go after him pretty tough. Mock throws a real hard breaking ball right there. You know Josh Bard's thinking, I got to keep it in front of me if it goes in the ground. He does. Just happened to roll right up his sleeve and over his back, but he did a nice job keeping that from a 2-bag advance by Victorino.
Bard has to be alert here. With Victorino at third base, anything gets 15 feet away from home plate. Because of the shift where Ryan Zimmerman is playing, if Shane Victorino wanted to, he could take a 50-foot lead off third base. There is no one to hold him. There is no reason for him not to be at least halfway down the line.
He is halfway down the line.
Mock has to be tempted to step off and run after him. Gets the ball up the middle near the bag. Well played by Kristen Guzman. And the Phillies are done in the top of the first inning. Justin Maxwell leads off next. Fourth in the league in batting average, 8th in runs, 9th in home runs, and in the middle of the lineup, right in front of Elijah Dukes, the fifth best home run combination in baseball. Dunn and Zimmerman. Willingham struggling. Josh Willingham's only 8 for his last 52, and Elijah Dukes on a 9-game hitting streak. He's hit .447 his last 13 games.
And you did ask Jim Riggleman if he would think about giving Mike Morse a start, and what was his response?
Mike Morse is not a middle infielder. He will not start in front of Alberto Gonzalez, but against right-handed pitching, Pete Orr will get his share of starts. But right now they consider Morse either a corner outfielder or a corner infielder, and Mike probably won't be replacing any of the guys at those 4 positions except when they really need a day off. Now Maxwell comes into this game 5 for 36 in 18 ball games this year, batting just a .139. Lee gets him 0-2 and punches him out looking on a pitch near the inside corner.
Well, and you better be ready for that all night. He will come and get you. Cliff Lee challenges a lot of hitters. Tale of two cities, 7-9 in Cleveland to start the year, but he was still the reigning Cy Young Award winner, 5-2 in Philly. 22 times this season he has gone 6 innings or more. 19 times he has gone 7 innings, and 17 wins better in 2008 than 2007 when he was sent back to the minor leagues. Thus, he won the Cy Young Award last year.
Christian Guzman all year's been hitting great right-handed. 306. He had his 48th multi-hit game last night. And he jacks this one to the gap in right center. Worth will not be able to get it. It's up against the PNC sign for a 1-out Guzman double. So Christian Guzman this year now has 36 extra base hits, 23 doubles, 7 triples, and 6 home runs.
Well, he gets a fastball away, and as I said, he is going to throw predominantly mostly fastballs tonight. That's what his MO is. Fastballs 80% of the time. Set up the secondary stuff. Fastball up and away. Goes with it. Gets a double for his time at the plate.
Adam Dunn moved up into the 3rd spot today, which is a rather unorthodox move against a left-handed pitcher. And sometimes when Dunn and Zimmerman aren't generating a whole lot for a couple of games, Jim Riggleman will flip-flop them. Adam overmatched on a pitch inside. Counts even 1-1.
Northrop Grumman here on the pitch track. Fastball in. I think Adam might have been looking for a breaking ball down and away. Maybe surprise him a little bit.
Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse.
There you saw the breaking ball.
Texas won again today. They won at Cleveland 10-0. They continue to put pressure on the Red Sox. They're only a game and a half out of the wild card now. Adam Dunn just strokes one to center field. He made a great adjustment on a breaking ball. Guzman is safe on a touch of the plate. And the Nationals lead on Dunn's 93rd RBI. You know, Rob, that's as well as I've seen Adam Dunn adjust to a pitch all year long.
Well, I showed up for work probably around 2:30, and Adam Dunn was on the field taking batting practice and working on things, going the other way, working a lot with Rick Eckstein to try to improve his game. Right there. Sometimes you don't need to hit a huge home run to drive in runs, and that's a big run to get ahead of the Phillies early in this ballgame.
Dunn tying Zimmerman for the team RBI lead. And Ryan goes up swinging. Did he get it?
No.
It's right in front of the bullpen. You could probably take your thumb and your forefinger and put them about a 1/4 inch apart, and that's how much of the bat separated that fly ball from a home run. 2 outs in the inning. Phillies tied with Pittsburgh for the #1 spot in the league defensively. It's hardly even worth our time to tell you about the regular 7 guys. Charlie Manuel's daily decision is usually who's going to catch, and tonight it's Paul Bacco. They have as consistent a starting 7 as anybody in baseball. Here's Willingham.
Another thing that I love about Cliff Lee, reminds me a lot, maybe a little bit better stuff as far as the fastball. Strike thrower, 39 walks in 200 innings pitched to this point in the season. So he is coming, and he's coming for you. He's throwing a lot of strikes.
Tim Lincecum leads this league with 201/3 innings. And over in the American League with Lee gone, CC Sabathia is at 206.
Well, Lincecum's shelved now with back spasms, so Lee will take over that thing. But more importantly, just about Cliff Lee, 4-1, basically, strikeouts to walks. With 154 strikeouts and just the 39 walks. I mean, that's impressive.
And he'll challenge people and give up hits. He's given up 210 hits in just over 200 innings. A little bit low to Willingham. And the count's 1-2.
Well, and having talked to him many, many times since he was sent back to the minor leagues in 07, he said, I deserved to go down there. I wasn't pitching well, and I needed to work on some stuff.
Finished that year 5-8 with a 6.29 ERA. Willingham tried to pull that outside pitch. Rollins to Utley. The Nats, just like last night, get an early run as Guzman scores this time. Will make his 09 debut against Anibal Sanchez Saturday, and then John Lannon, Rick Vandenhurt on Sunday. And of course, Nats Extra 30 minutes before every game. We will have a joined in progress for you at 7:05 Saturday night because the game starts an hour earlier. The Marlins are making room for a concert.
Who's going to be a concert?
I forgot.
Who are you going to watch?
I forgot. I think it's Menudo.
Menudo, they're back. Is Ricky Martin back with them?
Well, we are in Miami.
Oh, what I'd give for Boyz II Men and Menudo concert.
Raul Ibanez had hit 1 homer in 34 games before last night. He is sick against the Nats. Absolutely sick. And that's extra bases because Maxwell has a long way to go. And Rob, now when he gets a base hit, he's hitting it where the Nationals aren't even playing him. It's just crazy the way he has dominated Washington's pitching staff this year.
Well, and Garrett Mock starts him out with a changeup. You have to establish your fastball to some of these players, especially at this level. And he waits. He finally gets a fastball in the count in his favor, and he whacks it into right center field. And
He's hitting almost 470 against the Nats.
You and I talked about this off the air that, you know, our young starters continue to show their entire arsenal of pitches the first trip through the lineup. And there's no mystery to what they have featuring that night. Now, your best pitch may be a slider. Maybe you don't even bring it out until the 4th inning. But if you throw every hitter, every pitch that you feature, there's no mystery. So that they can sit back and look for a particular pitch that they like, and they cream you.
And that doesn't even count the guys who aren't hitting, who are all watching from the dugout.
I've said this before. They're like little ants. They go back and they tell you exactly what they've seen.
If you do that to 8 hitters, they've seen everything you have 7 to 8 times. Jason Worth, opposite field homer last night. Mock goes 92 away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Part of pitching is always putting the hitter on defense. Getting ahead puts them on defense. Now I'm just defensive. I'm trying to protect. But when you get behind or you throw everything you have and they know, well, that pitch isn't really something he's getting over for strikes tonight. You sit on the pitch he has to throw for strike, and that's when you get hurt.
He misses on 3 consecutive fastballs.
Nice balance point. Nice takeaway. Everything's perfect.
Look out here. Fastball up. Rammed into left field. Phillies will tie the game on Jason Worth's 83rd RBI. And it's the 5 and 6 guys that are wearing out the Nats in this series. Ibanez and Worth combined for 3 home runs last night.
It doesn't matter if a guy's hitting 220, but if he gets ahead in the count 3-0, 3-1, it makes him a 400 hitter. And now he can stand there and pick you apart. And once again, it's the same broken record I've been saying for 5+ months. Work ahead, set up your secondary pitches, and throw your best pitch the majority of the time.
Nobody out. Pedro Feliz. Base hit left field. 3 hits in a row now by the 5, 6, 7 guys. And if it's this way the first time through the order tonight, we're not sure what lies ahead for Garrett Mock. Steve McCatty's on his way to the mound.
Hopefully, some of the things that Steve McCatty, a guy who pitched very well at this level, will sink into some of our young pitchers.
He has to be telling him, Rob, pretty much the same things you've been preaching on the air here.
Well, I'm not preaching. I mean, I'm just giving you the basics. And Steve McCatty and myself and Pat Corrales, we've gone over this stuff in so many conversations in the last couple of months. I mean, you know, we can't throw for them. We've done our time. We've played. Now it's up to them. They have to go out there. No one's trying to trick you. No one's trying to misinform you. Everybody's trying to help these pitchers become the best that they could possibly be. You know, you can even say that about Randy St. Clair or anybody else. They weren't trying to hurt anybody. They're trying to give you lessons we've learned so that you don't do things that we did wrong.
First pitch was a changeup for a strike. Second one, a fastball fouled off.
But it's pretty simple stuff. You know, same thing with the hitters.
Here's a guy hitting 208. Will he do him a favor and throw him off speed? That's a big breaking ball that had a nice dip on it.
Well, and if it is off speed, it's something that this guy is going to struggle to hit. Not throw a big breaking ball for a strike, which he just did on the 0-2 pitch. But once you get way ahead and the guy is on the defensive, now you get out of that strike zone. Now you go to the peripheral zone. You go on the outside edges of the plate. You go down in front of the guy on the ground. But they know all this stuff. It's not stuff that they don't know. It's just you have to execute your game plan. Pitch after pitch, hitter after hitter.
Off speed.
You know, you saw Pedro Martinez last night. He knows he doesn't throw 95 anymore. But the 4 pitches that he can throw for a strike any time in the count, he will use them wisely throughout the night. What will best serve my purpose to get through the order 2 to 3 times, because I'm not going 4 times through the order anymore. He didn't even in his heyday. And he still threw 119 pitches and got to the 7th inning.
Two changeup to a 208 hitter, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. Pitcher coming up.
You see the look on Steve McCatty's face. It's disbelief. You got a guy that barely gets a hit 2 out of 10 times.
He's called the
way
bullpen.
ahead 0-2, and then you throw nothing but breaking balls and changeups. It's like pitching scared to a guy like Paul Bacco. Can't pitch like that at this level.
Ross Detweiler.
Well, you got plenty of arms now.
First pitch changeup to the pitcher, ball 1. The Nats battery off speed happy right now.
I actually get tired of listening to myself talk about this.
And a heater fouled off. With lead this year. He's done okay coming over to the National League. He's 6 for 24. The base bunch is Worth, who singled, Feliz, who singled, and then Bacco, who walked. Ibanez already home.
That was a pretty good pitch.
2-1.
But because he's been all over the place and he walked Bacco after getting ahead 0-2, he doesn't get the call. But the 1-1 pitch right here, pretty nice spot. You saw the frame of Josh Bard.
And Lee with a base hit. 2-1 Phillies. Bases still loaded. And Cliff Lee, as far as I can tell, his first major league RBI. Now, because you haven't retired the bottom, here comes the top of the order.
2-1 pitch right here. You have to come in with a fastball. He throws a good sinker down and away, but because now the counts, and even Cliff Lee, the hitter, is the pitcher hitting, it's in his favor. He can wait there and look for fastball, and he takes it the other way.
Jimmy Rollins goes up hacking. Well, this is the first time the Phillies have strung any hits together to speak of lately.
And you talked about being beaten by the Phillies. They're, you know, granted, they're one of the best teams in the major leagues, and they're gonna exploit your weaknesses and overexpose your weaknesses, and that's what's happening with our pitching staff. Even when Chiron Martis was here, when Chiron was here, and he continually threw the wrong pitch in the wrong situation,
like a changeup to Ryan Howard.
Is right, like change-ups to Ryan Howard that come back and into his power zone. You know, they're going to destroy you. You know, you might be able to get by a weak hitting team like the Padres or somebody else, but this team, you can't make mistakes to the Phillies.
Well, foul into the corner.
There's Ryan Howard,
who hit that grand slam in Philadelphia,
and then hit a home run, and then came back in another grand slam in 3 consecutive at bats against Chiron Martis.
2-2 to Jimmy Rollins. That's foul. 41 pitches with nobody out in the second.
I don't think it's a mystery what the Nationals will be doing this offseason. But I just don't know that there's that much good pitching to be had out there on the free agent market or even trades.
Rollins with a slow roller. A run will score. Gonzalez to Dunn. Feliz home. It's 3-1. Baco to third, and the pitcher lead is second. Jimmy Rollins collects his 62nd RBI. Shane Victorino doubled first time up. The Nats played the infield in. There's a catcher running at third and a pitcher running at second.
Another changeup.
And again, like I said the other day, I don't see Garrett Mock shaking off Josh Bard. A lot of this off-speed stuff, the idea of the catcher. And a ground ball to the right side. The runners will stay. Gonzalez has it. 2 outs. And you have no choice but to pitch to Chase Utley.
You can't really walk Chase Utley to get to Ryan Howard. This is one tough lineup to have to pitch to. But if you fall behind, you make it that much more difficult. Then you have to make perfect pitches.
And Utley into left. Could have been worse.
Just a rough patch.
And Mock gives up 3 in the second. And it's a 2-run lead for the Phillies. You must purchase the tickets at the box office here at the ballpark tomorrow. Joe Blanton for the Phillies and Livan Hernandez for the Nationals tomorrow night. Cliff Lee, by the way, as some of you I'm sure know, originally a Montreal Expo. Florida had drafted him in '97. He did not sign. Baltimore in '98 did not sign. And then finally the Expos signed him in the 4th round of 2000 after he had pitched 1 year at the University of Arkansas. Not that highly regarded with a 4-3 record in college, a 4.45 ERA, but he certainly improved his draft position. And then, of course, the infamous trade by Omar Minaya,
Bartolo Colon,
Lee Stevens, Brandon Phillips, Grady Sizemore for Bartolo Colon and J.D. Drew's brother, Tim, a pitcher.
There was another Drew?
Oh, yeah, Tim.
What about Nancy, his sister?
Well, she was too busy solving crimes.
Yes, there you go.
Well, Tim and J.D. were both drafted in the 1st round 1 year. And Tim would later have all kind of shoulder problems. Here's Elijah Dukes. He's walked 11 times in 13 games. And that's why his on-base average is on the rise. .588 over his last dozen games.
Dick.
Feliz plays it well.
You don't mind if Pedro Feliz doesn't hit, because this is what he brings to the table defensively. That is a tough play. Basically did it in one motion. He knows great speed is going down the first baseline. He was playing Elijah deep too. So he scoops it up in one motion, throws it over to first base perfectly. That was a good trade when they picked him up from the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Josh Bard goes up swinging. Pedro Feliz was signed by the Phillies as a free agent.
Yes, he was.
January 31st of '08 to a 2-year deal. Previous year he had only hit .253 in San Francisco, but he drove in 72 runs. And he hit 20 home runs, and of course San Francisco is not conducive to power hitting.
He's so young, and he was up in the big leagues at such an early age. I didn't think he was a free agent, but 33 years old this year, opening day.
First year with the Giants was 2000.
Yep. Feliz and Carlos Ruiz don't get a lot of publicity, but without those two last year, the Phillies don't win a championship. And then I followed them in the postseason. Ruiz was amazing behind the plate.
Lee's had at least 2 hitters trying to pull outside pitches. Willingham and Bard, they both grounded out to short. Hey, it's Wednesday. We're all wired up, presented by Verizon Wireless. And Jim Riggleman will join us next inning. With the Nats are batting. And here's Alberto Gonzalez. 4 in a row now for Lee since the Adam Dunn RBI hit. Gonzalez gets one down the right field line. That's a good swing for him. It'll get the pitcher up.
Yep.
He's at second base with 2 outs.
You keep saying that every time he hits a line drive, and it looks like he's just starting to cut down the swing. Then he'll have 2 or 3 more at bats where he flies out to the outfield. He just has a short, sweet to the ball swing. Look at that, short and chop. Bang. Make contact, the 90+ mile-an-hour fastball away.
He's got a pretty good hit to the top of that swing,
though. He can hit. It's just you can't think you're a power guy and get this big looping uppercut. That's not his game.
Garrett Mock is 1 for 18 this year. That ball glances off the glove of Paul Bacco and could be a pass ball. So on the pass ball, Gonzalez to third with 2 outs. Garrett Mock 1 for 18 this year with 12 strikeouts, 1 for 22 career. One pitcher has his first career RBI tonight. Let's see about the other. Garrett Mock holds his hands low when he has the bat. You wouldn't think he could get to a high fastball like that. Watch how his hands get down. Right too.
Cliff Lee, more of a fly ball pitcher than a ground ball pitcher. Coming into tonight, 351 outs by fly ball, 285 by ground ball.
That doesn't sound like a formula for success in Philadelphia, does it? No. Fly ball ballpark where they often go out.
Here's the thing. He probably jams a lot of righties. He comes inside on you hard.
Garrett Mock hits the ball pretty well to right center. Jason Worth the call. The Nats are done. They've stranded 2, and the Phillies lead 3-1.
Drafted by the Nationals just out of Stanford, and now you have your first professional season under your belt. And how would you describe your time in single A and double A?
That's been crazy. It's been a crazy 3 months, like you said, and you know, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun down there, and I was fortunate enough to finish up in Harrisburg and had a blast up there. Played with some good guys up there, and we just came up short of the playoffs, but it was a blast, like I said, and I was fortunate enough to have some success up there.
And now you get to join another couple of good guys in Derek Norris and Steven Strasburg going to the Arizona Fall League after the Instructional League, and your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's funny because I get to play. Strasburg's the only guy I haven't played with yet, so I was fortunate to play with Norris and Espinosa and Marrero and all those guys, and actually Jeff Mandel's going to be out there too, I think. So it's going to be fun, and you know, there's going to be a lot of good hitters out there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, and I know by the time I'm out there, I'm going to be missing baseball already. So.
Okay, sounds good, and hopefully we will see you here very soon, Drew. Good luck. Let's go back up to Bob.
Thank you, Debbie. And I did hear that Drew had some control problems toward the end of the year. He walked 2 guys all summer. Are you kidding me?
I watched some video on him today. He repeats his delivery as well as anybody.
That was the first thing you said when you saw his video.
Every pitch that he threw, and it just looked like a pitching machine. It was wonderful to watch.
And the only blown save he had, he ended up winning the game. He had 9 saves and 10 opportunities. Ryan Howard leads off here in the top of the 3rd. Mock's gone 2-2 on him. He bounced out to Guzman into the shift up the middle first time up. Tried to serve one down the left field line. Something Drew Storen told me on the field today sticks with me, though. He pointed to the area above his belt. He said, the thing I found out this summer is 96 right there isn't as good as 92 down here. And he was signaling down by the knees.
Cheese at the knees or even below.
Yeah. 92's plenty hard enough if you got movement on it. And I've talked to some people around the ballpark who've gotten to know Drew through a couple of his visits here, and everybody is just blown away by the kind of person he is.
I know, he's just a rotten kid. No manners. Swears on. I'm kidding. He is wonderful, and he's a good kid. And you know what? In the minor leagues, go ahead, read your promo.
Well, we need to tell our fans that the game in Florida starts Saturday at 6:10, but they have a concert. That's why they're starting early. And because of MLB's national television rights deal with Fox, Saturday game of the week, we cannot come on till 7:05. We'll join you live at that time. Follow the game at massinsports.com, live game blogs and stats. And then Rob and I join you at 7:05. We'll have our typical, usual post-game menu, Nats Extra, Jim Riggleman's press conference, all the usual breakdown and analysis after the ball game. Here comes Raul Ibanez. What does he have in store this time? He has made one out in this series so far, a ninth-inning strikeout when Ron Vallone got it. Fastball by Mock on the outside corner. 1-2.
And the thing about the minor leagues too is you're playing against the best guy on his high school team and the best guy on his college team on every team. It's like facing an all-star team every night. And to do as well as he did so quickly, it just shows you how talented he is. But you know what? Nobody's perfect. Don't expect him to be perfect, nor Strasburg. They're going to have their peaks and valleys.
Well, it's like somebody asking me, you think Storn will be our closer by next year at the All-Star break?
Yeah, I do.
Who knows?
Absolutely.
Who knows?
Actually, be the closer here next week. No, I mean, they'll let you know. When they're ready, they let you know.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a can't miss anymore. He said, hey, he told me something really great. He said, I can go back and finish my degree at Stanford anytime, but I can't throw 95 for the rest of my life. I want to work and have fun and play ball right now while I have this ability to do that. 3-2 pitch. And Ibanez pulls it right side. Pretty good change of speed by Mock. Had him out ahead, 2 outs. And the base is empty for Jason Worth. And then Storn and I talked about, and they will remain anonymous, but I think you might know who I'm talking about. Certain pitchers who don't sign their contracts, who want money more than maybe they're worth, and now some of them have missed 1, maybe 2 summers of major league action or minor league action. He said, I was not going to be one of those guys. He said, I wanted to sign and get to work and take advantage of the opportunity, and my did he. While others are sitting home. And if you're 21 or 22 and you already had 2 or 3 years of college, you can never get those summers back.
No, and Crow's 23 now, and it's to the point of how can you be evaluated even by the team that has your rights if you're not pitching?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you were good in college or high school or whatever, but
that was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, if we can't see you and you haven't pitched in 18 months in front of us, you know, independent baseball is one thing, but you know, being under our tutelage, our instructors need to see you. Maybe you need to work on something. God forbid you have a problem. You have a blister on your finger. Maybe we don't want you to throw and get into a bad habit. I mean, there's so many things, and you can't make the club if you're, you know, not even in the clubhouse.
Garrett Mock just couldn't get that 1-2-3 inning. He walks Jason Worth, faces Pedro Feliz now.
Hey,
the Nats, by the way, are down to 10 relievers.
Uh-oh.
Because Jorge Sosa has been designated for assignment. And Marco Estrada has been taken out of the bullpen. He will start in Florida Saturday night. So yesterday they had 12, now they're down to 10. Reaching for it. Flying out to Dukes is Feliz. and a scoreless third. Top of the order for the Nats, and Jim Riggleman joins us live in a moment.
I don't really know, other than that, you know, he got off to a bad start with Ibanez that first inning, three in a row off-speed pitches, and allowed himself to get behind the count. You could just tell that Ibanez knew he was going to get a fastball and was all over to hit that double, and I think that got him unglued a little bit. And fortunately, he hung in there and settled down and got the job done after that. But you know, this last inning anyway. But we got to hold that club down. They're tough, but we got to hold them down. We got to play them a lot, you know, every year. So you got to figure out a way to hold them down.
And against a team like this, they can exploit your weaknesses a little bit. Nice hit there by Justin Maxwell. Going down the stretch, you do have some extra players. Will you try to get them in there as often as possible, or is it more of they're going to have to pay their dues?
Well, Rob, a little bit of both. But, you know, when we play these teams who are vying for playoffs, you know, you got to be careful that you don't play them against one group and not against another. You know, you don't want to have a situation where we put our guys who just came up from AAA against the Phillies and then play our regulars against the Marlins or whatever, or Atlanta. So almost everybody we play is in contention, so it's a little hard to put guys out there except a little bit at a time. You know, like Maxwell's out there today. I'll try to get Ian Desmond in there pretty soon, but you can't just make an overhaul and put them all in there. It's just not fair to the competition of the league.
Jim, we appreciate your respect for the game with that statement, and we're right there with you. We know you've got some work to do with a runner in scoring position, so thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jim. That was a wonderful point. And I'm guilty.
You owe it to the other teams.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of the blinders myself. Working here for the Nationals, I want to see some of these guys, and I absolutely forgot that there's other teams that are depending on us to try to beat the Phillies, and knock them down so that they can maybe get in the playoffs. I had forgotten that, and I apologize.
Well, I think Jim reminded us all that there's a respect for the game and a respect for the other teams at this level. And the Nats have 3 left with the Marlins. The Braves are on the fringe of the wild card race. Now, when you play the Mets, maybe it's a different story.
Yes.
2-0 to Dunn. He fouls one. After singling up the middle, he made a wonderful adjustment with 2 strikes and actually took a nice soft level swing looking like a contact hitter, and he drove in Guzman, who had doubled for his 93rd RBI. Nats down by 2. Been a while since Adam has launched one. He's hit 35. How many homers has Lee given up this year? 14, and 4 as a Philly in just over 7 starts. It's 8 o'clock in our nation's capital. Dark skies overhead this time of the year on September the 9th. Bob, Rob, and Debbie here at the ballpark on Masson 2. The Phillies with a 3-run second lead at 3-1. Two and two to Adam Dunn. You can hear the ball skip in the dirt. Ball 3. Marlins, by the way, got 4 in the first at New York. Cody Ross hit a homer. They have Ricky Nolasco going tonight. Everything else is later, including the Braves at Houston. And they're now 2 games back of the Marlins in the wild card race and 7.5 back of Colorado. Dunn went. He knows he's out. 2 down. Adam Dunn strikes out for the 156th time. 2 Ks on the night for Cliff Lee.
Threw him a bunch of different fastballs, different looks, and then he finally gets him out with a breaking ball down in the dirt, away towards the righty's batter's box, and that's just Cliff Lee. As we've talked many, many times, and as Hall of Famer Jim Palmer has said, will only break out the out pitch when he needs a strikeout or a ground ball. Most of the time, it's fastballs and changeups.
Like that first pitch changeup, 85. Guess you call that a BP fastball.
Yeah, and but that was a get me over first strike pitch. That's not, I'm trying to get you out on the first pitch and I throw it in the dirt pitch.
Garrett Mott, lots of pitches, 67 for 3 innings.
Right
now Zimmerman's in the hole, 0-2. Ryan got in the hole 0-2 last night before Ryan Madsen carved him up.
Last year, he made 31 starts. The Cleveland Indians won 24 of those starts.
2.54 ERA, led the league. Nobody goes 22 and 3 anymore.
He did.
That's inside, 2-2. His career record, 88 and 50. This is his 190th game, his 186th start. And Cliff Lee's already pitched 12 complete games in his career. 3 of them shutouts. That's a lot by today's standards. 2 for the Phillies already. And Zimmerman strikes out on a breaking ball. The Nats are gone in the 3rd. A leadoff hit by Maxwell. He's stranded. Nats have left 3 and trail 3-1. Rob Dibble back.
Actually, I think he got it wrong. It was 11:59:50 So it was 10 seconds before. I'm just kidding.
Might have been before they finally pushed that button. So far, Garrett Mock working out of some problems. A lot of pitches, so he won't go that deep into the game unless he has some real quick innings here.
Well, really pitching away from contact tonight. And, you know, hey, it's one of the best hitting teams in the major league, so that's obvious. But you heard Jim Riggleman. They're scratching their heads. They're trying to figure out what he's trying to do at certain times. And against these really good hitters, if you pitch 3 breaking balls in a row or 3 changeups or 3 off-speed pitches, it's pretty obvious what you have to throw next, and that's why Ibanez jumped all over the fastball, and that puzzles his. If that puzzles your manager and your pitching coach, then that's going to be pretty confusing to the guy out there on the mound.
Top of the 4th inning, Baco, Lee, and Rollins, 8, 9, and 1 for the Phillies. And there's Garrett Mock getting Paul Baco on a pitch way off the plate for his first strikeout. Get your seats for 2010 season ticket deposits are being taken. 202-675-NATS, nationals.com/2010. Guaranteed seatings, savings over single game prices, discounts on merchandise, access to exclusive events, all kinds of fun as a season ticket holder and a very deserving citizen of Nettstown. Tapper foul by the pitcher. Cliff Lee gets a base hit. Now he's going up there and swinging at everything, trying to get another one.
Well, one of Garrett's starts, he went 4 innings. He walked 4 in that one. Another one, he went 6. He won the game, though. Against Cincinnati, he walked another 4.
He has Jimmy Rollins and Ryan Howard 0 for 4 tonight.
Well, it's just a question of your strike throwing ability. I really feel he has the ability to throw strikes when he wants to. But I think he does. He works very hard at pitching away from contact. It's really difficult to pitch this level when you pitch like that. You know, the Yankees paid $40 million for this guy named Kiyagawa from Japan. Watched him do this, you know, little dance around trying to not pitch to contact. Ended up dumping the guy and sending him down to Florida. Never really have gotten any use for him because it's difficult in today's game to pitch away from contact.
But wait a minute, he was really good in Japan.
Oh yeah, he was fabulous in Japan. But in Japan, they all pitch away from contact. And you know, this, I'm sure the scouting report on is, well, you know, they don't hit the guy real well. Yeah, because throws nothing but junk up there, way away from the contact. Well, eventually, the 3rd time through, it catches up to everybody. The thing over here in this league, they will wait you out until they can get something to hit. Right there, he strikes out Cliff Lee on a changeup. See him turn it over. Beautiful Exmo camera there. But contact can be your friend. Contact can be a 1-pitch double play. It could be a fly out to end an inning. And it's a lot of work to throw 5 to 7 pitches per hitter. Throw 25, 30 pitches an inning. Like we've seen, he's up to 82 pitches, and he's not even through the 4th inning. Not going to stay around many games when you're up to 105, 110 pitches by the 5th inning.
2 strikeouts tonight. He's taking care of business against the bottom of the order. And he strikes out almost a batter per inning. Jordan Zimmerman was doing that same sort of thing before he got hurt. And now it's interesting to note that since Lee hit that RBI single back in the 2nd, Garrett Mock, who has strikeout capability, has retired 8 of the last 9 Phillies. So his 2nd time through the order has been very good. But right now starts the ultimate test for him. And I'm sure as Rollins and his buddies see him for the 3rd time.
People are at home are going, well, what are the ramifications of not pitching deep into a ball game? Well, I'll tell you, we have the last ranked bullpen in the major leagues. And a lot of that is because we don't complete a lot of games, and the bullpen's in every night by the 7th inning. So if we don't find pitchers that can go at least 7 or 8 innings, which is why I brought up that out of the 28 starts by Cliff Lee this year, 22 times he went more than 6 innings. 17 or 18 times he went more than 7 innings. So, you know, Cliff Lee's value is he saves your bullpen.
Oh, great sinker. 83 on that one. Took a little bit off. And a 1-2-3 with 3 strikeouts for Mock. He has righted his evening. Now gravity start to take over here as Tom would cut off Abe and get to the finish line. But watch, can he stand his feet long enough to keep that head airborne? Just long enough. Those are not the wagering windows, by the way. That's where you get your popcorn, hot dogs, and ice cold drinks.
I thought they were collecting their winnings.
Entertainment purposes only, Rob. Willingham, Dukes, and Bard, bottom of the 4th, 3-1 game. Phillies lead. Josh Willingham tried to pull an outside pitch, grounded out to Jimmy Rollins. He hits that one sharply, but right at Pedro Feliz.
Mention some nachos. Tom can take Abe.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You don't have to bet money.
You have to throw the money changers out of the ballpark if they do that. Aflac trivia.
Aflac!
Uh-oh. Edwick
2 players that won Rookie of the Year, then MVP the next season. Ryan Howard's one of them. I do believe Ryan Howard's one. Yeah, he was Rookie of the Year in 05.
Could it be Ryan Howard and Frank Howard?
Wow. I wonder if Albert Pujols is the. No, I don't think Pujols was he wasn't an MVP. He kept losing out to Barry Bonds every year until he finally broke through.
Yeah, I think it took Pujols about 6 years to win an MVP.
Yeah, 05.
Bonds was taking all of them.
That's a really good one. Rookie of the Year, then MVP.
Mike Piazza?
Well, Lee gets ahead of you 0-2 quickly, doesn't he? He got rid of Willingham in a hurry. He was 0-2 before you could blink to Elijah Dukes. And then when he gets 0-2, he goes pounding you inside. He did it to Zimmerman before going off speed for the strikeout. So this is the exact same pattern as what happened to Zimmerman. 0-2, 2 fastballs right on his hands. And let's see if he pulls the string on him now here, just like he did to Ryan.
What a big junk ball, curveball, 79 in the dirt.
Or it's straight change. That was 85.
Got hit a long way, but not
long enough, 395 feet. So he gave him a fastball in that count.
And I think Elijah was probably looking breaking ball, but as they say, and I have said this before, I think Elijah's got some of the quickest hands in the game. Takes that 85 after keeping it back for the fastball, and he adjusts and
Lee probably missed his location there. That was the changeup, but I'm sure he didn't want it sitting up there like that.
Well, the ballpark helped Cliff Lee get away with that one. If we were in Philadelphia, that ball's halfway up in the grandstands.
Maybe scrambling and Ashburn's out. Now that's 6 in a row for Lee now since the Maxwell base hit. 5 in a row, pardon me, trying to make Bard number 6.
Josh doesn't get to hit right-handed an awful lot.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. It's almost always Will Nieves. Will had started 3 games in a row prior to this one. And then with the left-hander out there, Josh Bard gets the call. And he came in hitting .270 right-handed, but only 37 at-bats. He's at 191 at-bats left-handed.
By the way, I apologize to Cliff Lee. 19 times this year he's pitched 7 innings or more.
And then Will Nieves is at 197 at-bats. It's interesting. After this AB, Bard and Nieves will be 3 at-bats apart. So Jim Riggleman and Manny Active before him doing a real balanced job of keeping these guys active but relatively fresh after the injury back in May to Jesus Flores. 3-1 to Josh. He's got power from the right side. Jacks it hard. Ibanez was probably battling the lights there, and he ends up on his tummy to make that play. Which, by the way, is 30 more than Cliff Lee has thrown. That'll help if Gonzalez gets it. He does, and Shane Victorino is retired. So for Garrett Mock, that's 5 in a row and 10 of his last 11. He's due to bat second in the 5th inning. There's no activity in the bullpen.
Oh, check him out.
Well, there is activity. Nobody's
activity, but it's more of a meet and greet out there.
They must feel like a health club whose membership doubled this week. We're told that in the bottom of this inning they'll be doing Pilates.
I think you're just fighting over Jorge Sosa's locker.
That's not very nice.
Yeah,
hey, by the way, I did notice yesterday that Ian Desmond's locker is right next to Christian Guzman's. be a little unusual. Some consider Desmond the shortstop of the future. Time will tell. But he sure had a good year this season. Finally hit at the minor league level. And changeup is well outside to Chase Utley, who has lined to center and flied to left. Oops. Way high changeup, 3-1. That's a scary number 6. Everybody heard that one hit Josh Bart's face mask. They were oohing behind home plate. The count's 3-2. Jams him. Little pop up. Guzman. 2 outs.
Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Let's break down our big boys at first base. Over there on the left is Ryan Howard, 6'4", 260. Adam Dunn, 6'6", 287. More like 290. There's their swings. Very similar. Same type of finish. They both strike out a lot. They also walk a lot. And also crush a lot. Coors Light Freeze Cam on the big first baseman, top 3.
Only difference I saw was at the very end, where Howard lets that hand fly off the bat, and Adam Dunn stays two-handed with the swing all the way through.
Well, those two guys are top 3 in home runs hit since 2006. There you go. First in their class.
528 homers between them. Close to 1,400 RBIs. A lot of whiffs, a lot of walks, and on base a lot.
Yeah, but whiffs are you know, the game's changed. They come with the territory. I mean, you know, I was looking over statistics yesterday on Yogi Berra and Joe DiMaggio. Yogi Berra, one of the greatest hitting catchers of all time, 3-time MVP, never struck out. This is Yogi Berra in his career, never struck out over 20 years more than 38 times in a season.
That's pretty impressive.
Joe DiMaggio, 14 seasons, never struck out more than 39 times in a season. And he only did that once, and that was his rookie year.
Yeah. A lot of these guys had that many by Memorial Day.
2-1 changeup right here coming at you in the dirt. 81. Howard swinging. Another changeup.
That's why so many people are amazed by Pujols. He's the one modern player whose numbers mirror that, but even he doesn't strike out that infrequently. He's usually 60, 70, 80 a year.
Right. And will walk 90 or 100 times.
And for Ryan Howard, his 61st walk of the year. Jared Mock's 3rd of the night. Now he has to deal with Raul Ibanez. He bounced him out to second on an off-speed pitch last time up. But Ibanez did double leading off the second and scored on a base hit by Jason Worth. Now remember what Jim Riggleman said. He threw 2 changeups to Ibanez, who knew he was going to get a fastball, continuing his dominance of the Nats. Look at that. Swisher and Longoria against Tampa Bay and Boston. Now he's thrown 2 changeups. And Jim Riggleman told us when that happens, Ibanez knows he's going to get a fastball, and he'll be waiting for it. Let's see what happens here. Counts 1-1. So he did get a strike with one of them. He goes fastball, right, but he really turns it over and runs it away. And even Ibanez won't go biting on that.
Well, I just think the reason it's so perplexing is that Garrett Mock may have the best stuff of anybody in the rotation now that Zimmerman's hurt. Throwing the low to mid 90s, yet he's attacking the Phillies the second and third time through. And you see the 100 pitch total already, and he's not even through the 5th inning with pretty much changeups.
Changeup.
So out of the 5 pitches so far to Ibanez, 4 have been changeups.
And the element of mystery may be gone here. You're down 3-2. Runners going. Fastball hit hard. Right center. Up against the board. Ryan Howard coming home to score. 4-1. And you could see it coming when you throw off-speed pitch one after the other. He gets challenged with a fastball and punishes it. And that's after a 2-out walk.
Another changeup. He threw 5 out of 6 pitches were changeups. Ibanez, and I've said this before, hitters are so good at this level, they can make the adjustment. Pitch recognition is everything to a hitter at this level. Throw 5 out of 6 of one pitch. I don't care if it's 5 out of 6 fastballs. They will make the adjustment. You saw Ibanez keep the hands back and drill it off the scoreboard in right center.
Zach Segovia joining Detweiler. I think if Mock had gotten through this inning 1, 2, 3, or at least unscored upon, they might have let him stay in to bat in the bottom of the inning. There was no activity in the bullpen.
I'm not so sure about
except for
that.
guys stretching. Well, with
because Detweiler's a starter. I mean, they probably just want some of these guys to get in the game too.
Yeah, but my point is, with 2 outs and the bases empty, nobody was throwing. Now they would have another half inning to throw. So your point's well taken.
He's still averaging 20 pitches an inning. That's way too much.
105 for 14 outs. So this has to be it now. Phillies by 3. Strikes him out. 5th inning, at least the top half over. 4 Ks for Mock, who gives up 4 runs in 5 innings. That's down by 3. Won the World Series 3 years before that over Kansas City.
By the way, that last Philly player you saw, Gary Matthews Sr., sitting 2 booths down from us.
Sarge
is here. Larry Anderson's here.
He helps him out on the radio.
Another one for Kuzi. Oh, that's Gonzalez.
Alberto Gonzalez jacks one to the gap in left center, and he has a pair of doubles. Nats will be hitting for Garrett Mott. And look who's coming to bat. It's about time, after all this time, looking fairly trim as Jesus Flores.
Well, I'm glad he didn't come back to look like Hector Villanueva.
He looks great.
I think he's probably been upset over the injury, and I'm sure he did a lot of working out.
Well, he had, as Jim Riggleman said, he had to get that first at bat sometime. They wanted to pick the right spot for it. Jesus was hitting .311 when he got hurt. With 15 RBIs in 26 games, he took a foul ball off his right shoulder May 9th at Arizona. Great to see Flo, as we call him, back in uniform and back in the game.
Is that what you call him, Flo?
That's what his nickname is in the clubhouse.
Like Flo's Diner?
I don't really call him Flo. That's a fair ball, by the way. Ibanez took a look at second base and throws out Flores.
I like Zeus.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Zeus.
Flo reminds me of Mel's Diner.
He's a great kid.
He is.
He'll be 25 on September 26th. Great future ahead of him here at Nationals Park and wherever our ball club plays. Bob Carpenter, Rob Dibble, Debbie Taylor, Masson 2 on Wednesday, September 9th. 1 out. There was no advancement by the runner. Top of the order, Maxwell, who singled off the glove of Utley last time, and then Guzman. Garrett Mott goes 5 innings, 4 runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 106 pitches. Zach Segovia. And a bouncer left side, base hit. Knock. Having to retreat Gonzalez back to second before he advanced. And the Nats have runners at the corners, and Justin Maxwell
has a couple of knocks.
Put the ball on the ground that time, 2 for 3.
Yep. I mean, I'm happy about that more than anything, seeing Maxwell hit, because that kid can play. If he hits at this level, 250 at this level, he's starting every day.
Yeah.
Imagine in a couple of years, Niger Morgan, Elijah Dukes, and Maxwell in the outfield.
Try to gap one of those guys.
Exactly. Start with the defense. Come on, Kuzi.
Guzman 1 for 1 with a double and a sacrifice bunt. Good success against Cliff Lee in their American League days.
I like that, though. Well, last night we showed what he hits off Pedro. He owned Pedro. I like that he can hit the good guys, too. It's like Manny Ramirez. Ramirez hits the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, and a lot of hitters punish the 4 and 5 guys and get by because they don't do much against the top of the rotation. Guzman fouls it to stay alive.
So anyway, George Clooney's doing, I don't know, I think he's promoting some movie or something.
You really want to tell this story?
I got to tell this story because it's just so ridiculous. Okay. And this dude is at the thing. He just strips naked in front of him and goes, what did he say, Joe? Hug me, kiss me, marry me, something like that. They escorted the gentleman out, and George Clooney just laughed. I mean, not only do women love George Clooney, so do the men.
Not that much. 1 and 2 to Guzman. He just gets a piece of it. Ball stays fair. A run will score, and Guzman gets the RBI to make it a 4-2 game. Gonzalez coming on contact, no problem at all getting to home. And now another runner in scoring position, Maxwell.
Well, you didn't really draw it up in the playbook that way, but it worked perfectly. This is a very good pitcher's pitch right here. It's a breaking ball. It's going to go down and in. Guzman, good contact guy, hits it off the end of the bat. Cliff Lee's got to field his position.
It was close.
And it was close.
Well, and in some ways it's better than a fly ball, because Maxwell was able to advance, and on a fly ball the outfielder would more often than not throw into second base to keep him at first. So a base hit by Dunn, and the Nationals are back to 4-3. He already has one RBI tonight. Fastball inside corner.
I was talking to Sparky Lyle today. Great closer for the Yankees. Pitched 5 1/3 shutout innings in the '77 League Championship Series.
Adam Dunn. This is going to be a play at the plate. Here comes the throw from Worth. Maxwell is too fast. It's a 4-3 game, and Adam Dunn goes to second on the throw with his second RBI of the night. Boy, Maxwell covered some serious ground from second to home right there.
Adam Dunn with a couple of big base hits tonight. Getting it done with small ball. Gets it in around that shift, and Justin Maxwell, no chance at the plate. He's got just world-class speed, which is something you cannot teach.
And that's not a good throw by Worth. He just gave the Nationals 90 feet. He had no chance to get Maxwell. Zimmerman could tie the game with a base hit.
So my point about Sparky Lyle was, imagine back in '77 what a great outing that was by a reliever over 5 innings, shutout ball in a championship series. He remembers not covering first base on a play that Chris Chambliss made. Chris Chambliss made a diving play, and he goes, I'm just standing there watching it.
Zimmerman tried to pull an outside pitch. Nats are gone, but they get 3 hits and pick up 2 runs. It's a brand new ball game, 4-3 into the 6th. And by Jaguar. Visit your local Jaguar dealer to experience the exhilarating performance of the new Jaguar XKR. Mr. Lincoln's Monument all lit up tonight. Hey, school night. They're having a blast down here. Top of the 6th. Game summary. Alberto Gonzalez, couple of extra base hits, scoring a run there in the 5th. Raul Ibanez, you can just read it. I'm sick of talking about him. He is just wearing our boys out.
2 for 3.
And Adam Dunn's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, and now he's retaken the team lead from Ryan Zimmerman with 94. Bergman pitches here in the 6th. It'll be fun to watch Zimmerman and Dunn compete with each other to see who gets 100 first. Pedro Feliz 1 for 2. Cliff Lee, by the way, has pitched 5 innings but only thrown 67 pitches. So with a guy like him out there, things happen quickly one way or the other. And obviously Josh Bard just got crossed up by Jason Bergman.
What did we talk about, though? At the beginning, he's going to throw majority 80% fastballs, only go to that out pitch when he needs it. I mean, he does everything right. And it's actually a pretty simple game plan. I'm going to throw as many fastballs as I can, work ahead, and once I've got ahead of you, now I'm just going to throw some junk 59 feet and get you out of there. Problem is, 2 of the pitches that he made that were excellent to Christian Guzman, he rolled it up the first baseline for an RBI. The other one to Adam Dunn lifted it over the infield.
Yeah.
But still, his game plan's simple. I'm coming. I'm going to throw a lot of strikes. Adam Wainwright today got his 18th win with the Cardinals. 7 strong innings again. What does Wainwright do? 80% fastballs.
Yeah.
What does Chris Carpenter do? 80% fastball. I'm coming. I'm throwing strikes. I know I'm pretty good. Josh Johnson told me that the other day. He said, listen, I know I can throw strikes. I don't want to walk people. As Jason Bergman walks the leadoff guy.
I think Wainwright's going to win the Cy Young.
He should. He's right up there.
I mean, he's got a chance to win 21, 22 games. Unless they shut him down a little bit, because they're going to clinch in the next week or so. And then you can do whatever you want to give your guys rest. Slow roller, Gonzalez a tag and a throw and a very nice 4-3 double play. So tonight we're seeing the good Alberto Gonzalez with the bat and defensively. We know he can do this. He hasn't done it, though.
Well, no, it hasn't been consistent. He does it once in the blue moon, and tonight's his night to be excellent at the plate, excellent in the field. Right there. See the tag of Feliz. And then Paul Bacco, not a great running catcher, even from the left side of the plate.
And Lee hits one out to center for Maxwell. And Bergman, after the leadoff walk, will have a very quick top of the 6th. Hey, guess whose side momentum is on? I think it's the guys in the white uniforms.
With a 2-9 against Livan Hernandez. Livan Hernandez, career versus the Phillies, 10-9. He will throw nothing, even the kitchen sink, at you. Coverage begins at 6:30. That's extra hosted by Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight. Livan has not won a ball game, about 7 starts. He's looking for a W.
Levon with the Nats 0-2, 3 starts, 5.21 ERA. After going 7-10 in 26 starts for the Mets. Bottom 6. It's about time for the bat of Josh Willingham to come alive.
And all of a sudden, it's turned into a ball game.
It's interesting how things work out during a baseball season. Josh Willingham is a career .266 hitter. He's in a big-time slump, 8 for his last 54, but he's still hitting 15 points over his career average. But this game has a way of catching up with you when you have to play for 6 months. If the season was over at the All-Star break, a lot of guys would have career years.
Absolutely.
Jim Riggleman made an interesting comment today. He bristled a little bit when one of the print reporters asked him about guys getting tired during a baseball season. He said, you know what? We're not running up and down the court. And this isn't football where you're getting hit and tackled. That's a good at bat by Josh, but Worth grabs it. He said, I don't buy it when people say you get tired playing baseball. He said, this is not a continuous sport. He said, no, I do acknowledge that guys need days off, you know, to clear their head, maybe if they're slumping a little bit. But he said, you should not get exhausted playing the game of baseball.
No, I think the only players that probably get exhausted would be the catchers. If you had to catch 140, 150 games a year, put that equipment on, squat down and do what you're doing behind home plate every night, that's not that easy.
Exactly.
Catcher
I think
takes
the
a beating.
catchers are the exception.
But this is what you do. You prepare yourself to do this. This is the choice you made. Nobody's forcing you to play baseball. It's a privilege. I don't buy into the whole tired thing myself.
But it's an interesting sport because you have these brief bursts of action and energy, and then you might not do much of anything for a half hour.
No,
it's the nature of the game.
It's peaks and valleys. You're going to fail more than you succeed. You know, even Hall of Famers fail 7 out of 10 times. The pitchers fail a lot. It's dealing with adversity, and I think this game is more than 90% mental, where you have to overcome a 50 at-bat stretch where you struggle.
Good to see Jesus Flores throwing the ball, catching in the bullpen. Good ID by Dukes. 1-2. Elijah hitless tonight, trying to extend his hitting streak to 10 games.
Well, one of the reasons, like a Derek Jeter, who hit under 200 his first 200 at-bats, had a great hitting coach with Don Mattingly, who said, don't let the first 200 at-bats affect your final 400. And he ended up close to 300 by the end of the year. So it's as much mental, being able to get over an awful slump, a 6-game losing streak as a pitcher, 10 blown saves for Brad Lidge. It's being able to weather that adversity that sets you apart. But fatigue, I don't think fatigue should enter into it unless you're maybe 35 or 40.
Dukes on the ground to Utley. 2 outs.
Another heck of a player that I played with, and now he works for the MLB channel, Barry Larkin. I talked to him today, and he blew his Achilles heel out after he was 33. And he said that after that point, he had to cheat, and what he meant by that, he didn't have the explosion or lateral movement he once had. And so he had to go more off of scouting reports. He really had to cheat in to know what the pitchers are doing. But he used his mental awareness and what he had learned over the years to help him finish out his career. And that's what we talk about. You have to be a student of the game while you're in the game. You have to be learning things every day. And if you're not willing to do that, you might want to find another line of work.
Josh Bart 0 for 2, grounded to short, line drive to left.
How many times have we said this year, boy, we've never seen that before. We've been around this game an awful long time, you and I, and you learn something new every day. You see something different every day. You can never think you have this game figured out.
Bart gets jammed and fouls it out of play.
And I love the point you made about Drew Storm. I don't like it, the fact that he says he can go back to Stanford anytime he wants. I'm jealous. But he's right. You can't throw 95 forever.
He said, I've only got so many bullets in this arm, and I know it.
I like that kid.
I know
I like him already. Hey, I was retired at 31. You don't have to tell me.
And I bet when you were 24, you thought you would be doing that forever.
Absolutely. When I was 25 or 26 after winning the World Series, I thought, oh, I'll pitch forever.
Yeah. Bard, that ball hit the ground, says Ron Culpa. He heard the tip, and somebody needs to tell the ground crew to get off the field. They've already come out to drag the infield.
Very nice. Very nice. Now just shoot out the fireworks, too.
Yeah.
Come on.
That was funny.
They're eager. They want to sweep the field.
They're on the same walkie-talkie as the fireworks guy. And Bard will
now
fly
you
out.
can come out.
They can get ready unless it drops.
Oh my goodness, they tried to make it drop.
What's Jason Worth doing in there? Victorino makes the catch. Cue the ground crew. Top of the 7th coming up. If you have a valid ID, just purchase a ticket price to $10 or more and you get half off. Check out the Fan Value Corner, Nationals.com, or call 202-675-NATS for details. Jason Bergman with another inning.
All right, the Burgermeister comes out for a second inning.
Rollins, Victorino, and Utley. Jimmy Rollins. I'm not even going to tell you. Well, let's wait and see what happens.
What?
I mean, well, I don't want to jinx it. For all you walk under the ladder black cat people out there, including my.
You know what? See, that's. I'm different about that stuff. I do walk under ladders.
Yeah.
I had a black cat.
That's good to know next time I'm painting.
But his name was Pepsi, and he scratched me. My mom used to say,
"Well, then stop messing around with it. Maybe you won't scratch you."
What you're supposed to mess around with pets.
Exactly. And dogs. And every animal is supposed to mess with them.
3-1. 3-2 on a good fastball by Bergman.
I mean, how would that guy have ever found out don't poke the bear if he didn't poke the bear?
Some things are better left unfounded. Marlins have increased their lead at New York 6-0. Top of the 7th. They're doing some scoreboard watching, hoping the Nats can give them some help. They haven't given up on the division yet. All right, that's why I didn't say it. Jimmy Rollins was 0 for 7 in this series until that nice swing of his to left field. That's the first hit by either Rollins or Ryan Howard in this series, though Howard did walk and score last time up. But it's to a certain extent Utley, but Ibanez and Worth with a little help from Feliz and Ruiz, who've done the big Philly damage in this series. This could be Jason Bergman's last hitter. Left-hander next, Utley.
Jimmy Rollins has stepped up his game, though. He had been scuffling for a while.
Well, he was hitting under 200 most of April
and May. So to have him looking at 240, chasing down 250 is impressive.
Nats will be in Philadelphia on the next road trip in between Florida and New York.
Northrop Grumman's going to show us the spot right in the middle of the box.
That's pretty big movement for a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. The movement of that pitch,
great sinker.
If you didn't see the gun, you'd think it was a changeup because it went from one side of the plate to the other.
There's no reason that Berge gets hit the way he gets hit.
Close. Almost got Rollins, who's 25 out of 33 this year. Bergman's opposing batting average 270.
Just got in, and you see, kids are watching at home, how Jimmy Rollins jumped back to the outside part of the bag.
Guzman out and Willingham in. We're going to make a little addition to our trivia answer from earlier. One of our alert fans emailed us and tells us that Ryan Howard, Cal Ripken, and
Dustin Pedroia
were the three men, not two, three, who were Rookie of the Year one year, MVP the next. That's good.
All right, I wanted to finish that story on Sparky Lau, by the way. And that point about, that was covering first base. I guess his pitching coach, Fred Stanley, is going to make a pitching change here, Jim Riggleman. Fred Stanley said to Billy Martin he couldn't.
For Washington, Sean Burnett, it'll be his 29th Nationals appearance, 67th overall. ERA very consistent, 2.78 Nats, 2.95 overall. And, you know, Rob, we wanted to save the rest of your story for when a left-handed reliever comes into the game. So fire away.
He went 5 1/3 shutout innings, earned the victory in that win over the Royals in '77, wasn't it?
Well, that would be the LCS.
It was the ALCS.
Yep.
And
that's when Whitey Herzog's team could never beat the Yankees.
When Billy Martin called down to Fred Stanley and said, well, what does Sparky look like? I want to take the starter out. He goes, he couldn't get his grandmother out. So when he came to the hill and Billy Martin's giving him the ball, he goes, well, how many innings you think you got in? You know, Fred said, you couldn't get my grandmother out. He said, Billy, my grandmother's not in the lineup. So he went 5 1/3 shutout innings. He gets the win.
I like that.
But this is how brutal we are about each other and on yourself. He goes, the only thing I really remember about that day, I didn't cover first base when Shamlis made a great play. So then Freddie Patek hit into a double play.
Yeah, if you're a perfectionist,
oh my goodness,
even if you succeed, you beat yourself up over the things you did not do.
But I love him. He's like, well, they'll never let me coach at the big league level. You know us relievers, we're too goofy.
That's a great line, though. My grandmother's not in the lineup today.
It was. But he also said, we talked about pitching. He had one pitch. We talked about Mariano Rivera, 500 saves.
Yeah.
Basically throws a cutter. You know, our guys, our relievers, want to throw all 4 of their pitches. You're not starting anymore. You don't have to.
Yeah. Well, Willie Hernandez of the Tigers did pretty well with a screwball. Didn't throw a whole lot else. You know, some breaking balls to left-handers. And how about Trevor Hoffman with his changeup?
All-time saves leader Trevor Hoffman. I was just going to bring that up. Hurt his arm, but still will set up that changeup by throwing fastballs. They may be 84 miles an hour and the changeup 72. But it's the mentality that you say to yourself, I have to get ahead of the hitter. First pitch strike is my best pitch.
Runner goes, great jump. And I didn't think Josh Ball was going to bother and throw it. That's number 26 for Jimmy Rollins, who hasn't been on base enough this year to have a really prolific base stealing season.
This is off the pitcher. As soon as he breaks that leg off the dirt, picks it up, Rollins is off, never looks in. Not even a throw.
I mean, 2 years ago, Jimmy had 41. Last year, 47. But he won't be much beyond 30 by the end of this season because of his low batting average and on-base percentage. His on-base percentage coming into this game, 286. That is unbelievably bad for any everyday leadoff guy.
Oh, and he would tell you he's having an atrocious year.
But you know what?
He's probably happy as heck.
You know how many years he's made at shortstop?
How many years he's been at shortstop?
How many errors he's made at shortstop this year?
I read your lips. 3.
So he's taking away runs that he's maybe not scoring. Well, that's a good play by Adam Dunn. Base to the bag. Burnett does get there.
Nice.
And Jimmy Rollins over at third base with 2 outs. Here's a stat, though, on Jimmy Rollins, who has not scored yet in this series. But when he scores at least 1 run, the Phillies are 51-15 this year. It'll be up to Ryan Howard to get him home and give the Phils a more than 1-run lead. If Sean Burnett can keep it close, it's going to be an interesting last 3 innings.
The Newark Bears made Doc Gooden the vice president in charge of operations there.
Ryan Howard, if it's fair, and it hooks before the pole. Woo!
Dodged one there. But the manager of that team is Tim Raines. Pitching coach is Mike Torres. And the hitting coach is Ron Karkovice. Well, that's a breaking ball right there. Gets way out in front of it. See a little body English by Ryan Howard, and no, that's a foul ball. Carlton Fisk right there. He's laughing.
Foul ball gets the whole team a talking.
Hey, this is one scary dude. Should we walk him? Nah. You could get him.
Ball game approaching the 2-hour mark here, top of the 7th inning. 4-3 Phillies, each team with 7 hits. Errorless ball on both sides. And a count of 1-1 to Ryan Howard, who offers and takes the breaking ball away.
All right, and test your memory. Remember Debbie Taylor did a little piece on the bar that Ryan Howard swings? Do you remember how heavy it was?
Wasn't it like 30 pounds?
It's like 20 or 30.
So,
yeah, they're going to walk.
So you're asking me the question and you don't know the answer either?
I wouldn't be asking you the question if I knew the answer to that steel pipe.
Well, I thought you were testing my memory. You know, when somebody's testing your memory, you figure they know the answer.
Wait a second. I have to know the answer before I can test you?
Well, that's the way it usually works.
Not in my world.
Okay. I'm thinking it was upwards of 30 pounds.
All right. We'll put Debbie back on the case.
It's a little heavier than a 34-inch bat.
Yeah. No, that thing's a solid piece of steel. Look at that thing.
I'll go down and do a little baton twirling with that tomorrow and report back to you.
Yeah, that'll be like a toothpick in your hands.
Yeah.
Have you ever met Ryan's brothers? They're from the St. Louis area.
I have not.
Oh my God, they're huge.
I've chatted with Ryan.
He's like the smallest boy in the family.
Ryan, by the way, is from Ross Detweiler's alma mater. It was Southwest Missouri State at that time, known as Missouri State, in the AA town of Springfield. And here's Ibanez. Oh, Burnett bounced that ball way out in front of Josh Bard. I just wonder if Ryan Howard swings that thing and then picks up a bat. How do you wait on a changeup? The bat has to feel like a toothpick.
Well, he does have about 170 strikeouts, right?
He sees a lot of off-speed stuff.
He does.
Ibanez late on that hook. Strike 2.
Well, we walked Ryan Howard, who really doesn't have that many hits in this series.
None.
Just so we could face the national killer. Northrop Grumman on the great breaking ball by Burnett.
And Howard goes to second.
Got it.
He is safe. A good throw by Bard would have had him by plenty, but Josh put the ball on the shortstop side of the bag, and Ryan Howard is 6 for 6 stealing bases this year.
Well, I'm sure he does a lot of delayed steals and just kind of running behind a play right here.
Picked a good pitch.
He picked a good pitch in the dirt, off speed, and he's in there for the big man. He was moving, too. Well, I think he was out.
He might have come off the bag after the initial touch. But if Bard puts that throw on or near the bag, second base side, innings over. Now it's second and third, 2 outs. 2-2 on Ibanez. Breaking ball pretty close.
Hey, 3-2, do it again.
Yeah. You'd rather walk him than hang one.
Walk him at this point.
Don't give him anything over the heart of the plate.
Throw that breaking ball again.
Take your chances with Jason Worth.
Don't take your chances with fastball.
Swing and a miss on a fastball. He had enough movement to get it by him. The Phillies strand 2. They've left 7. And the Nationals are right in this game at the stretch. a pair of doubles. He will lead off here, bottom of the 7th.
Well, he's on fire. He's got a couple of hits tonight. Keep it going.
And it'll be 3 consecutive doubles for Gonzalez, who short hops the left field wall. And just as we were about to give Alberto's bat up for dead, he comes back with a vengeance tonight.
Well, you talk bad about a guy long enough, he starts to do good. He's got 3 doubles tonight. Started off the night going the opposite way on a nice short compact swing. The last couple of at-bats he has hit some long balls off of Cliff Lee.
And the Nats have Lee on the ropes here, even though he's only thrown 83 pitches.
Well, his last couple of starts he's been banged around a little bit, so he can be beaten. 5 first starts for the Phillies, undefeated. Last 2 losses.
So Padilla 1 for 9 as a pinch hitter, 1 for 17. He is hunting his first major league RBI. A 30-year-old rookie who had a birthday on August 11th. And he was called up to the Nationals 6 days before that. Lays down a bunt. Perfect if it stays fair. And it will. It stops. And Padilla thought about going to second base for a moment. And it's a base hit for him. Pretty good sacrifice right there. You know what? They say you couldn't roll it out there any better. I bet if you rolled it, it goes foul.
Well, he's going to come back, making some serious points tonight with the way he has played. I'm sure he'll get a few more starts because of it. But right there, you needed him to move the runner up. No outs, man on second. Tying run, and that's just a perfect bunt. But I think the other day we got one of those too.
Yeah.
That rolled back towards the infield.
Did you see the hustle by the umpire, Ron Culpa? He was 60 feet up the line. Maxwell shows bunt, but fortunately not a suicide, as Gonzalez was not coming on the pitch. You have to score here. You simply have to get this run, tie the game, and then you're the home team and you have the advantage the rest of the way. Maxwell swings through a breaking ball, and a hitter who's had a problem with contact, striking out once tonight and 15 times on the year in 39 at bats, needs to shorten up and get the bat on the ball. He foul tips it to stay alive.
Well, now you got to be defensive. You're way behind in the count. And if you're Justin Maxwell, you're just looking to try to hit a fly ball or a base hit. They're pulled in for double play depth. Now they'll move back a little bit. I think they're going to concede the run and try to get a double play.
Fastball right by him.
That's not going to make a difference.
4 strikeouts by Lee tonight. Maxwell twice.
Well, he was in a great situation there to help the club, help himself, and he takes a big, long swing trying to kill it instead of just make contact. Leaves that runner at third. Now it's up to Christian Guzman to try to get the guy in without a double play.
Guzman 1 for 2. A double, a sacrifice, bunt, and an RBI ground ball. A lot of hitting room in the right side with Utley cheating for the double play. But Guzman doesn't go to right field a whole lot, batting right-handed. BP fastball missing low.
Yep, Padilla's stolen bases in the minor leagues.
He stole 136 of them in his career.
Down there?
Not this year.
Pretty good.
I mean, he's been in the minor leagues for 11 years, too.
He could steal a base right here. That would help.
He had 14. He did have 14 this year at Syracuse.
He's got some speed.
And 13 last year. 2-0. Guzman hits a double play ball. It took Rollins around to get it out of his glove. And then Chase Utley drops it on the exchange. And the Nats tied the game. But you know what? That was not a rhythmic play because Jimmy Rollins didn't get it to Utley very quickly.
Wow.
The Nats get a big break.
You made the point last night that a fast guy is getting up on the second baseman in a hurry, and right here, Jimmy Rollins had trouble getting it out, as Bob said, and Utley already felt Padilla coming.
He was hurrying.
And he was hurrying to get out of the way. And Padilla's speed, I think, made that play happen.
That's another RBI ground ball by Guzman, and here's Adam Dunn. Nats have just been given an extra out. Let's see what they can do with it. So Garrett Mock is off the hook as the Nats tie the game. They've out hit the Phillies 9-7. And it's 4-4 here in the bottom of the seventh. Adam Dunn's had a good night. 2 RBI singles. Fastball, yes. Had several check swings on Lee's curveball today. Janho Park. Two and one to Dunn. That's a swing and a miss. And Padilla, pardon me, Guzman makes it down to second base. That's the second time tonight that Paul Bacco's had a hard time making a connection on a catchable pitch. He's acting like he got crossed up by his pitcher. That'll be his second pass ball of the night.
Well, Ruiz does most of the catching. This isn't like our two catchers that catch an awful lot. So Bacco, with a guy that he probably hasn't caught many times in his career, if any, until this year.
Adam Dunn gets jammed and a bouncing ball to Rollins. The inning is over, but the Nats on a botched double play by the Phillies tie the game into the eighth. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network, coming at you right like those highlights. Your world delivered. Top of the 8th. Tyler Clippard, the Nationals' 4th pitcher. Jason Worth takes one inside. Clippard pitched 2/3 of an inning last night in the 7th, but he gave up a home run.
Wow, good pitch. Come on, make a call here. Let's go.
Gave up a home run to Chase Utley in the 8th. 2-0. That's well outside, ball 3. Every 90 feet critical at this stage of a ball game. He was hacking on 3-0 and thinking about his 33rd home run of the year. In the air to center. And he does get this one halfway up the hill. And Worth's 33rd of the year puts the Phillies right back on top, and wouldn't you know it, they do it with a solo home run. His 2nd of the series.
Well, they hit 5 last night. This pitch is up in the zone. The 3-0 pitch, he pulled foul. And they tell you only to swing 3-0 if you think you can kill the ball and maybe hit a home run.
He did.
And then 3-1. Almost same location that time. Jason Worth hit it to center field, and it's one of the farthest balls I've seen hit this year.
Phillies might leave town with 200 home runs. They have 197 with 6 solos in this series. Next batter, Pedro Feliz, and for Worth, his 33rd RBI, number 83. That was hit a ton. He probably, now Feliz gets one. And the Phillies are at it again. And for Pedro Feliz, his 2nd hit of the night and his 10th of the year.
Well, 2 high fastballs at 91 miles an hour. You see the top of the line of the hitting zone.
Well, Rob, I think one of the things you see from those pitch tracks on Tyler Clippard, his fastball does not appear to have a great deal of movement.
Oh, no. No, and when you're just trying to throw it instead of place it and locate it, it's the big leagues. These guys can hit 100. 91, if you don't locate it somewhere in or out, they'll locate it on the other side of the fence, and you've seen 2 of them in this inning.
Debbie Taylor, that's 198 for the Phillies this year, who lead the league.
Well, Bob, in the second half of the season, hitting home runs has been key to both the Nats and the Phillies winning ways. Now, when the Nats hit a home run, they're 20-12. When the Phillies hit a home run, they're 28-11. The Nats without a home run, this is all since the All-Star break, 1-18. And the Phillies without homers, 2-9 since the All-Star break. Some interesting numbers there, Bob.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know when Debbie asked Jim Riggleman about that this afternoon, Jim said, well, I don't know how to tell our guys to hit home runs. But the numbers still work out that way. When you hit for power, that means you're taking good swings, and the Phillies have done that prolifically in this series. 7 solo home runs. Their last 16 home runs as a team have come with nobody on base. Now Paul Bacco hits one. Oh, 2 to the catcher. Cliff Lee, by the way, is on deck. He has the lead again. And it's a 2-run lead.
Well, he doesn't have
and the way the Phillies bullpen has been struggling to close games, Charlie Manuel wants him out there for a while.
But as I already told you, 19 times this season, Cliff Lee has pitched 7+ innings.
He's going to do it again.
He's in line to do that again tonight. Gone 7 already.
He's thrown 96 pitches in 7 innings, so he's good for at least another.
But because of the fact that he throws probably 80% fastball, 75 to 80% of the time, he's throwing a pitch that's not that hard on the arm. Not a maximum effort pitch for him. He's able to stay around a lot longer than other pitchers.
Tyler Clippard this year in 42 innings has now given up 9 home runs.
What did Drew Storna say about the movement below the knees?
He said, I'd rather have 92 at the knees than 96 at the belt.
92 in movement. But
yep.
Yes. Point being,
Maxwell for the second out. Top of the order now, Jimmy Rollins. The Dodgers are coming after the Nats return for the next road trip. You can watch one of the games in style. Nationals.com/win. You could see the Thursday game, September 24th, from the comfort of a private suite with 14 of your closest friends. Go online, nationals.com/win. It could be the best night of the baseball season for you and your buddies. And if you get here early and send word up to our booth, we might come by and eat some of your food.
We'll gladly come in and eat your food.
I can guarantee you we will make a visit. And a pop-up left side. Zimmerman backpedaling, and Guzman will make the call. All right, bottom of the 8th coming up. Zimmerman, Willingham, and Dukes. The Phillies now lead 6-4, using the long ball again tonight, like Ryan has many times.
Not the same guy that started the game.
It is Baco.
No. It's Cliff Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Handling the same pitcher.
Got it. They just want Ruiz and his steady hand
defense, absolutely.
Behind the plate. Obviously, Zimmerman doesn't want to get to 0-2 again.
Cliff Lee's a pretty good character, yeah.
You know, he's an interesting guy. He and his wife, Kristen, have a son, Jackson, who's a children's leukemia survivor. They've been very active in the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, giving of their time and their money. He's a Mississippi guy who went to Meridian Community College down there before going on to that 1 year at the University of Arkansas right before the Expos drafted him in 2000. 1-2 to Zimmerman. Still throwing 92 here in the 8th inning. That was pitch number 100.
We'll wear him down eventually. We got him right where we want him.
Okay. You feeling good about this?
I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Right there with you. Zimmerman stays alive, fouling a breaking ball off his foot.
I just like him so much more because he admitted that he needed to go down to the minor leagues and recapture whatever got him to the major leagues when he won 18 games back with the Cleveland Indians a couple of years ago. And
sometimes your pride takes a shot.
Absolutely.
But the ball club's right.
But he also said he was pitching against his strength, which is challenging people and throwing fastballs, and that's why he came back with a vengeance last year.
You mean he was not pitching to contact? Perish the thought. And now it's up and in. Zimmerman on 3-2 with Josh Willingham. Janho Park is ready when needed. Wouldn't be surprised to see Ryan Madsen be the closer tonight. Last night was the first time Brad Lidge was taken out for Madsen this year. That ball game got Jimmy Rollins back.
No. He's safe anyway.
Drops the ball.
Come on.
Dale Scott called Zimmerman out, and then Howard dropped the ball, and they'll probably have to give him an error.
I thought he beat it straight up.
I did too.
I got to see the replay because
Jimmy Rollins really backed up on this ball and never charged it at all.
But Zim gets down that line faster than I think they think he does. And he was safe.
He was safe. You know, because the umpire
he's safe.
Made the out call first. It'll be interesting to see. You would think they would give Howard the error because the ump called him out. Willingham out of play. Ryan Howard will get his second error of this series.
Well, we know Rollins has a tremendous arm, but like you said, he never had control of it. But I still think he beat the throw. Here it comes. He's safe.
And Zimmerman has a hit taken away.
Great job on the Exmo gentleman.
Willingham's the tying run. Nobody out. Oh, that's nasty. Josh raised his hands thinking it was inside, and the ball still got the strike zone.
Let's check the last pitch out right here on the inner half. But I mean, he's been throwing strikes all night, so he's going to get that pitch.
Man.
You're around the plate, you get the borderline.
And he baited him.
That was still a pretty good pitch.
Oh, yeah.
0-2.
A lot of guys would have struck out with a check swing right there.
0-2, wrapped it around the back door. A little bit too far out, but still. It's great command.
Willingham 0 for 3 tonight. Bat that can explode at any moment. And he lines one to right center. It's going to the scoreboard. It's cut off by Victorino. Listash will hold him. With nobody out, the tying runs are on base. That's a good swing by Josh Willingham, and the key man now will be Elijah Dukes. Cliff Lee may not be long for this game.
Looks like a changeup down and away. Willingham waited for it well, went the other way with it. And that will do it for Clifford Lee.
The Nats will get 10 hits off him and have the possibility of hanging him with 6 runs. On the night, he struck out 4. He did not walk a single batter. And he departs with nobody out in the 8th inning. And the hard-charging Nationals trying to get back even. Ray and Byron on Nats Extra tonight. Post game presented by Verizon Fios. We'll talk about Garrett Mock matching up against the defending Cy Young American League winner. Jim Riggleman's thoughts after the game. Joe Blanton and Livan Hernandez tomorrow. The game situation for Elijah Dukes. Park, longtime starter, not a very good ERA. 41 ball games. And Park in 80 innings, 73 strikeouts. Low and away, ball 1. Phillies are not warming up anybody in their bullpen right now.
Oh, it's Chan Ho, and that's it. Chan Ho, and away we go. I think he came in the other night to try to save a game instead of Lidge. Maybe it was a tie game and he gave it up. But
last night was the first time Lidge had been pulled for Ryan Madsen, who brought his 96-mile-an-hour fastball out and shut the door on the Nats.
Slam the door.
2-0 to Elijah Dukes, who's 0 for 3 tonight. That's a little better.
And like a cobra, Elijah's ready to strike.
Got a breaking ball there. Couldn't do much with it.
Chan Ho doesn't throw a whole lot of stuff to get you out, so you just got to be patient.
Phillies play the infield back with a 2-run lead. And Dukes chops one foul. Hit his bat twice. Here, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th inning in our nation's capital. Only counts as 1 strike. Ooh, that's close.
What a take. You know you're going good when you can take that changeup right there. Or sinking fastball. Goes with a sinker right out of the zone.
Huge pitch in the ball game coming right here. Fastball way upstairs.
Wow.
The bases are loaded.
Dropped down the Laredo on that one, Chan-Ho.
Yeah, he dropped down and the fastball did just the opposite. And it looks like Willie Harris is going to bat for Josh Bard with the bases loaded. Hey, it's September. You've got a full dugout in there.
Full complement.
Time to use every guy that it takes to win a ball game. Willie started the ball game last night, had a really good ball game, hit by 2 pitches. That didn't feel too good.
That'll bring out Rich Doobie.
But the double and the home run felt pretty good, so Willie's starting to swing the bat better. The Nats have 2 left-handed bats on the bench tonight as Pete Orr remains.
Boy, these Phillies huddle up a lot.
Yeah, I thought we were playing the Eagles there for a minute.
Okay. You're going to pitch out to the fullback.
It is time of the year for lots of huddles, though.
Go for the halfback pass. Come on, Willie.
Bases loaded, nobody out. The tying run's at second.
Well, they're conceding the run. They're going to try and get a double play right here. So they will give up 1 to get 2.
Willie Harris has been a good pinch hitter this year, 6 for 24 with a home run, 1 of his 7 home runs. He hit one here last night.
Come on, Elijah, get off. He's way behind you.
Harris, right field, not too deep. Zimmerman is holding, and a pretty good throw by Jason Worth. Willie Harris simply didn't hit the ball deep enough. 1 out.
Well, I still question holding Zimmerman on Willingham's double. The Phillies threw it into second. They conceded the run, and he was held at third. They missed the cutoff. They threw it into second. They weren't even trying to get him at the plate. So again, we're close to 50 games under 500, and we hold runners more than teams that are 20 games over 500.
Zimmerman doing what you're supposed to. Push off the bag hard, come hard for a couple of steps until you see the throw. And now Pete Orr will bat for Alberto Gonzalez, who ironically is having one of his best offensive nights of the year with 3 doubles. But you've got to go with the experience of Pete Orr here. Pete Orr is a pinch hitter, 1 for 2 since his recall 2 weeks ago. He goes to left, and that ball's not very deep.
You got to go on this.
Got to go this time. Zimmerman coming home, throw is short, and it's a 6-5 game. Now the Nats will have to hit for the pitcher, and Mike Morse just picked up a bat near the on-deck circle.
Well, but as I said before, if you had scored Zimmerman, you would have had Willingham at second. With 6-5. You would have bunted Willingham to third, and that would have scored the tying run.
All right, what's going on here?
Well, now
Riggleman does not have another left-handed bat.
They had Mike Morse out there, and for the second time, Mike Morse has been pulled back, so he's going to go with
he's
Will
he's got to bring Will into the game anyway to catch. So he doesn't want to burn 2 players here by pinch hitting Morse and then bringing Nieves in to catch.
You can bring him in later, though. I send Morse up there to try to tie the game.
Agreed. You know, and the other thing, in the 9th inning, you're going to have your top guys in the lineup up anyway. You're not going to be hitting for any of them.
Yeah, but Pat's got to stop playing it safe at third. Make them make perfect throws. Even that Worth throw on the tag. It's short hopped Ruiz. If he's coming down the line, Ruiz is probably more worried about blocking the plate than making that catch.
All right, Will Nieves 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter this year. Tying runs at second base in Willingham. Chan-Ho Park trying to do a big-time job for the Phillies here. If he gets out of this with the lead, by the way, the run is unearned because of the Howard error. That'll be a huge sequence for the Phillies.
I still think that's a hit by Zimmerman. I think that's the wrong call.
Oh, absolutely. But because the umpire had called him out, when the ball gets dropped, then the official scorer really has no other choice but to call it an error. That's perfect on the outside corner. Chan-Ho Park at the age of 36 throwing 94. Cliff Lee's win still sitting out there for the taking. Or shall I say for the saving.
Didn't Chan-Ho serve in the Army in Korea for 2 years? I'll have to check that.
Will Nieves hitting it sharply to Ryan Howard, and the big fella takes care of business that time. The Nats play it close to the vest in the 8th. Might have cost him the tying run. Collectibles. Get your team gear straight from the source. ShopTheNationals.com. Shop. Pete Orr stays into play second. Will Nieves stays in to catch. And Mike McDougall short on save opportunities for the last week and a half. In to pitch. So Cliff Lee goes 7+. 5 runs, 4 earned, 10 hits. Didn't walk anybody. 4 strikeouts, and he could be a winner for the 13th time this year. Got to hold the Phillies here. Nats at the top of the order in the 9th. McDougall to Shane Victorino, and a good running fastball for a strike. chopper. That's trouble. Ball gets away on the throw by Nieves. And Dukes throws to second safe. And Shane Victorino is in scoring position with nobody out. That'll be a base hit and an error on Will Nieves on the throw, his 6th error of the year.
Victorino hits it off the end of the bat. It's better than a swinging bunt or anything of this kind. You couldn't throw it out there any better. Will Nieves tries to make a perfect throw, doesn't, gets by Dunn, goes all the way to Dukes. Dukes almost guns him out at second.
And that's how the Flying Hawaiian plays this game. The shift is on for Utley.
Chanho Park avoided military. They have a mandatory 3 years of service in Korea. He avoided it by leading the Korean national team to a gold medal in the 1998 Asian Games.
That's the ultimate exemption.
There you go.
Well, he might lead the Phillies to a victory tonight with a pretty good one unearned run job in the bottom of the 8th. Nats didn't get a hit off Park in 4 ABs with a walk, 2 fly balls, and a grounder.
He was only the 2nd Korean signed to the major leagues in baseball history. So back in the late 90s, there still wasn't an influx of Asian players like there is today.
Yeah, Park broke in with the Dodgers in '94. Utley. And they got the runner. Oh, they got him at third.
I don't like
as Guzman kept chasing and chasing and chasing.
He tagged him anyway.
And Victorino almost got in there. It'll go 5-6 on a fielder's choice. I think Guzman thought he was going to catch up with him, and Victorino refused to be caught.
Right here, this is a smash, almost gets McDougal, and then Christian is going to run him down. I thought he had the tag right there. Then he flips it in there.
He was almost safe.
No, but watch this. He's got him on the tag right here. Watch the back leg kick his glove. No, he got a tag too with Zim. I think they both got him.
That takes place because of the shift. Now, Debbie Taylor evidently is a lead pipe cinch to give us the true story on that big thing that Ryan Howard swings in the on-deck circle.
Right, well, it's about 15 to 20 pounds, and he actually has a couple of them that he uses, and he got it from Milt Thompson. His friend owns a metal company back in Philadelphia. The Nats also have a metal bar that they swing. Theirs is about 10 pounds, so something popular in the game. And Ryan told me earlier in the season that it helps him with his grip, and it makes his bat feel a lot lighter when he swings.
I would say
maybe we should go to a heavier pipe.
We could sneak a heavier pipe into their clubhouse at night, couldn't we?
Theirs is 15 to 20 and ours is 10. We're lightweights. That's what Debbie's saying. No, I'm saying we're lightweights. Get the 15-pounder. No, not many guys are strong enough like Ryan Howard or Adam Dunn to swing that 15-pound pipe.
Raul Ibanez goes with the donut on his bat. I'm a little surprised that baseball allows that pipe to be laying on the field the entire time.
You know, there you go. You're thinking someone's going to fall on it and get hurt.
That's exactly.
Look, you got that other heavy bat there and a donut.
Well, I think the perfect solution is to get a couple of Virginia Highway cones and put them out there so nobody runs over that thing.
Well, what about that? You're going to take the ball off the field because McDougal almost got hurt.
No, but the pipe's got to go. Don't ask me again.
I don't even think the bat boy can move that pipe. This ball's a shot right back up the middle. Two in a row, right back at Mike McDougall.
And here's Ibanez, and he could pretty much end the proceedings right here. 1 out, 2 on in this series. Well, he's 2 for 4 tonight, and he was 3 for 4 last night. He said
I'm
2
going to
home
tell
runs
you right
driven
now,
in 3 runs.
I have a good feeling about this. This is going to be a double play ball.
Fastball by McDougall. You know, this is the first time the Phillies have seen him. Mike McDougall was not with the Nationals the last time these teams met.
That last pitch, 97 by Mr. McDougall.
It's been over 3 months since the Nationals and the Phillies have seen each other. I didn't really realize that until all their broadcasters started asking me about McDougall yesterday.
And of course, you probably told them everything about Mike, right?
I told him he was a soft tosser who couldn't get the fastball over.
I always lie about those guys. Is that wrong of me to lie about the scouting reports? No, this guy.
It's the other team, no.
It's terrible. Can't break 85.
That's what I told Larry, Sarge, Gary Matthews Jr. So I'm pretty sure Gary can't hit him at this stage of his career. Jason Worth, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a homer tonight.
A little bit of rain coming down now.
Big time cut, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We've avoided what were predicted to be showers off and on during the evening. It's really been a delightful night at the ballpark. 73 under cloudy skies at game time nearly 3 hours ago. It's taken almost an hour to play these last 2 innings. And a check swing. We got a breeze coming right in from center field now. The wind has shifted in from the north. And raindrops are blowing into our booth at our high perch here.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. Come on, you're not going to melt, Bob.
I know, but I'm worried about my laptop. I can replace the shirt. And Ibanez gets around late.
Goodbye. 98.
That's the second out here in the ninth.
So Sean Burnett punched out Ibanez. And then the 98-mile-an-hour moving heater. Here's the Expo on the long and lean and lanky McDougall.
That he is. Interesting matchup here. Power, McDougall and Worth. Jason Worth's been a handful in this series. He's been on base 3 times tonight. An RBI single, a walk, and a solo homer to dead center field. That ball landed close to 2/3 of the way up the batter's eye. And by the way, I see one of the grounds crew guys visiting with Dale Scott. That indicates to me that some weather, serious weather, might be on the way. Bob, Rob, and Debbie here at the top of the 9th inning.
That his pizza's ready.
Are you going to agree with anything I say?
No.
I think we need to get on a road trip.
Oh, come on, McDougall.
Top of the order, as I mentioned, for the Nats in the bottom of the 9th. If he can get out of this and keep it a 1-run game. He's ahead with the heater. 98. Wow. Even Ryan Madsen, who's throwing for the Phillies, would be proud of that. He topped out at 96 last night. And he goes with the slider and throws it really well, but he just missed. That was a good pitch.
We can't buy a call tonight.
That one's in there. He wouldn't throw 3 straight breaking balls, would he? That leaves it second. Howard at first.
Well, if this one's down and away in the dirt, or else throwing the heater up there. With the heater repeat.
He does. See ya. And 2 Ks for McDougal. Top of the order, Maxwell, Guzman done. Maybe Zimmerman in the ninth.
And 3 for 3 or against Chan-Ho Park. But what that leads you to is Nieves with that third at bat having to drive in a run where he could have just gone with Josh hitting there and then used Harris or whichever way he wanted to and not had to go to a right-handed bat.
The Nats are only down by 1 run and they have the top of the order coming up against the Phillies' best. Let's see how they do. Bob Carpenter and Rob Dibble with the final as the rain starts to sprinkle in here at Nats Park. We'll have Nats Extra right after the final out, guys.
Sounds a little breezy out there, guys. The wind is really coming right down Half Street into the ballpark. And here's Ryan Madson, who doesn't need any breeze at his back with that fastball of his. He came in to get his 5th save of the year last night, replacing Brad Lidge, who almost had another meltdown. Madson, 5 career saves coming into this year. He's doubled that recently. And it's up the middle, a base hit.
Baby.
And Justin Maxwell is having his best major league game tonight with 3 hits and 5 at bats.
Well, now it's time to steal a bag.
He is 3 for 3 stealing bases. That was earlier in the year when he was here.
Madson's not that fast to the plate.
And Feliz is going to have to play in close at third. Guzman is a good bunter.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't give up his bat right here and take it away and bunt.
Maxwell, by the way, 35 stolen bases this year at Syracuse. That's pretty good when you're hitting 242.
We just got to get that guy on base. He's world-class speed. Guzman hit a double.
What was that, a change?
90-mile-an-hour slider. That was a slider.
Wow.
Got a great change, a great and filthy slider at 90. And then he can still throw a fastball 96.
Runner goes. Offer of a bunt. Late throw. Maxwell stays on the bag, and he's in scoring position with nobody out. And now the Nationals could bunt him over to third. So Max is 4 for 4 stolen bases this year.
Great jump, great time to go, breaking ball in the dirt, and he steals second easily. And
boy, Rob, you're right. Madsen's pretty slow to the plate.
yes, he is. He's slow, but even that, once again, Nigel Morgan, Justin Maxwell, their late slides, they go right over the bag and almost off the bag, and you saw the umpire sit there and almost call him out.
Yeah, he was waiting to see if Maxwell had come off the bag.
Great job, Justin. Good
2
job.
RBIs tonight. He's 1 for 3 with a double. You can't bunt now. You'll be looking to move the runner or score him.
Pull this to the right side.
He tried. Adam Dunn waiting. 2 for 4 with a couple of singles tonight. If it goes any farther, and it should, Ryan Zimmerman. Madsen's only given up 6 home runs in 66 innings this year.
You can't be thinking,
string together hits.
You can't think about hitting home runs off that.
Well, I was thinking about Dunn, and now Guzman doesn't even swing the bat. He's gone. That hurts.
I think he was looking breaking ball, something off speed.
How can you guess like that with a guy who throws 96?
You can't, and he throws at 97 with movement, and here you see it run right away, 4-seam on the black.
When I mentioned that home run stat, this is the matchup I was thinking about. And Adams got to lay the bat on the ball somehow.
Yeah, but as a power guy, you don't want to overswing. That's when he's going to throw you a lot of off-speed junk. First base open.
Some battle tonight.
Careful.
Well, he overmatched Zimmerman last night. He's the on-deck hitter. Interesting how this all worked out with Jim Riggleman flip-flopping Dunn and Zimmerman tonight. Normally this would be Ryan. Inside, Ron Culpa said.
Pretty good pitch right there.
Adams had his share of success against this right-hander.
Slider.
And if he's throwing that slide piece for strikes, it's going to make him even tougher. Target away. Adam Dunn late for the fastball and right off the mask of Ruiz.
It might have broke his mask or bent it.
He's checking it. Joe Garagiola used to say that those kind of foul balls shake your fillings loose.
Well, and Carlos Ruiz goes with the straight old-time mask, and you saw Josh Bard, he uses the new hockey mask.
1-2 to Dunn. A shot to Utley, and the game is over on a 4-6 double play. The Nats do not advance the runner, and then a base running blunder ends the game. Oh my. You've got to make that ball go through before you make any move, and the Nationals still can't get it done against the Phillies.
Well, you got to freeze on the line drive, and as Bob said, Justin Maxwell took an extra stutter step. That cost them second base. The Phillies, who play some of the best